Well, it looks like winter is finally here. More like, unfortunately, here. So that means my trip to the post office is going to take a little bit longer because the road heading into the village is a seasonal road, and well, they just don't maintain it in the winter. And well, when there's several feet of snow on that road, it's just not worth it. So I'll show you what that road is quick. It's only a short little road, but it cuts off a significant amount of time heading down to the post office. So to get down into the village, into the post office, this is the seasonal road you've got to take. And right now it's not bad, but they stopped maintaining this right now. So whatever piles up here stays here. And it's tough to see on the camera here, but this hill it's got quite the incline. And it's not bad leaving the village, coming home in the winter if this is, pretty deep, but coming down it's a little sketchy. So unfortunately, now's the time of year where I've got to take a different route to this post office, or I just head to another post office altogether. Well, after about the third post office, I remembered it was Veterans Day. So there's clearly nothing open for me to drop my packages off at here today. But that's fine, whatever. I drove around to 3 post offices, saw a whole bunch of accidents, and now I'm home for the day. I'm not going anywhere. You can probably tell by my voice, I've been a little sick, a little under the weather here with a head cold. I'm just coming down from that. But before I got this head cold, I picked up something awesome, which is going to be great for this time of year. So let me show that to you right quick. So I'm browsing Marketplace at night, late evening, and I see this chair pop up for $75. Now, this is a stressless recliner by a company called Ephemera out of Norway. It's real leather, very high-end chair. Retails for about $3,000, and some of them are even more than that now. So this is my best guess, late 90s, mid to late 90s, early 2000s, because of the hunter green. When this showed up, I messaged the seller and said, "Hey, how's the leather? Any cracks or tears or anything?" And they said, "Nope, it's a perfect chair pretty much." And they weren't lying. So I immediately set up a time. They said, "Listen, I'm here right now if you want to come look at it." I said, "Great, on my way." So I picked this up for $75, but that's not even the best part, because in the ad, there were 2 of these, and that $75 was the cost for both. So if you go off of MSRP, that's $6,000 worth of chairs. And let me tell you, I'm going to be keeping this because, I'm not going to be spending $3,000 on a recliner for myself anytime soon. So both of these are going upstairs. There's one already upstairs that I have been enjoying because it is spectacular. This chair is one of the most comfortable chairs I've ever sat in. You can see it says Ephemera and stressless right there. So something you're going to want to be on the lookout for, because these chairs, they still sell very well in the used market in good condition for around $1,000 depending on your area. So while I was sitting upstairs in my $3,000 chair, I did some listing, because listing in a $3,000 chair is a lot more fun than listing on the couch. And a few things that sold was this alpha solder here. So this piece here I got from that private pick, and there's a whole bunch of them. I think I have 7 of them, or maybe even 8, and 4 of them have already sold. 3 of them are going to Japan through a drop shipper called Shop Airlines. It's obviously used a little bit, but I weigh it, before I listed it. It says 5 pounds, and all of these rolls that I had were like 4 pounds and 10, 12, 13 ounces, but something you're going to put in the listing. But if you ever find this stuff at a garage sale or estate sale, you're digging through the garage or the basement, pick it up. There's also another company called Dutch Boy that I grabbed that has been selling for me as well. I think this is the 4th roll that I sold for $50. It's a little dark over here, but this cabinet is filled with, I think, concrete. It's a fireproof cabinet from maybe the 30s or 40s. I'm not entirely sure. I got this down in the city years ago, and we bought it. It just holds paperwork and receipts from stuff from the house. So nothing really super important, but it looked awesome, so I had to have it. But the other drawers are all empty. And what I've been using this for is storage for all of my ephemera inventory. So I'll show you quick how I do that. I've got over 800 listings done right now, and I think I've done 875 total. So a bunch of them have sold, but how I organize them is I've got separate categories in the store for, coal and mining ephemera, railroad ephemera, automotive. But what I do is I sort them by the eBay category that they're kind of listed in. So this is 1800s. I don't have too many of those pieces yet. So they all kind of live in here. And then the next batch, so from A to Z, this whole chunk right here, this is all 1900 to 1919. And then the next batch is 1920 to 1939. So if you really squeeze these together here, I'm using, I don't know, maybe a little bit more than a third of this drawer here with a little over 800 listings. So if you figure each drawer can hold 3,000 listings, I can fit 12,000 listings in this single file cabinet, which would be great for my other stores. But unfortunately, no, because I have random crap everywhere, like this John Deere toolbox on top of the freezer. But when I get orders for the store, I basically just grab my phone, look at the orders, and I say, okay, 1900s, they're all alphabetized. I pick the paper that I need, and I made a bunch of these little things. Oh, I didn't make them. I just put together the chipboard with the plastic sleeves, and then I bring them over to the bench, weigh them, and send them on their way. There's still quite a bit of paper to list. This isn't even a fraction of what I'm going through. I've got some that are being flattened over here, but there's been some really cool finds. Here's one of them right here. So this is the Henley, hopefully this is focused, the Henley Kimball company. So they sold Hudson cars, and they're out of Boston, and the parts department and repair store is on Vassar Street in Cambridge. So I've been trying to look up the serial number of this car to figure out what model it is. It says 314. I don't know if that's the year or not, but it's clearly a Hudson. But imagine you have 84 hours of labor, and all of that only cost you $63.50. And this includes, it's crazy. You're take down crankcase, work on pistons, piston rings, put in valves. There was something about taking the transmission. Yeah, take out and clean transmission. All of this and more for $63.50 in labor. And then on the bottom of it here, it's got all sorts of parts. So it needed a left-hand front fender for a whopping $9.50. So $105 for parts. Oh yeah, and 6 gallons of gasoline they used to test this car for whatever reason at 88 cents. I'm guessing that's the full price, 88 cents for all 6 gallons, which is crazy. But yeah, $63.50 in labor, 84 hours. So the labor rate in 1917 was only 75 cents an hour. In I think the last video, I showed you these posters from the 1980 Olympics. And there's a few that are open because I was hoping they were going to be the rare version of the poster. However, after looking at them through a light, I can tell that they weren't going to be that poster. So there's a couple that are open. There are 16 of these still sealed. And I just sold, the other day I just sold one of the sealed ones for the full asking price of $250. So that basically means if I sell all 16 sealed posters at that $250, that's $4,000 of sealed posters plus whatever I get for the other ones. Well, a couple more things here before I end the video. I did get my free Ground Advantage boxes from the Poshmark deal or whatever it was, but I only got 25 of one size, and I ordered 125 of two sizes. When you email whoever this company is or whoever you're dealing with, you don't really get a human. You get some generic response. We understand you're having problems with blah, 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 and then pretty much gets nowhere. But I'm not complaining because free boxes are free boxes, and I will take them all day long. So a few things that just sold. One of them is the Southern California Timing Association belt buckle. This just went for $65 plus shipping to California. And then another thing that just sold is Santa. So Santa, the offer came in and said there's tape on it, missing tree, touched up. They basically were like, you're taking this offer because he's got all these problems. But I had it listed for $180, and they sent me an offer of, don't want that to fall, an offer of $153.99. So I'll take it because I've got nothing into Santa. and I want Christmas stuff out of here before Christmas. It is a cool piece. It's not going to be enjoyable to pack because it's fragile. You can see these kind of flap around, so I'll probably take these bulbs out separate and pack them up separately with this. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.